Hello, my name is David Morgan with Digital Marketing Tactician, and today I'm going to talk about local SEO domination, local client takeover. This word has so many variations to the term, okay? And so whatever you know this term by, we're going to go with it because it means the same thing. Basically, basically, you're taking over a city. Let me just because I'm north here, but let's go over to Chicago. This is what it basically boils down to. Um, Basically, you take over a city for a client, right? That's all it is. If you're in the SEO industry, you know, and you're going to tell the guy, you know what, we're not going to market your website. We're not going to do SEO. What we're going to do is we're going to take over Chicago for cosmetic dentistry. You know, for your dentistry website. You know what I mean? We're going to target everybody that's looking for cosmetic dentistry. We're going to target everybody that's looking for pediatric dentistry, for um, family dentistry, for I'm not even sure what other types of words he would use for dentistry, but we're going to take over Chicago with your business. You know what I mean? I mean, we're going to make it so hard for your competition to gain a foothold. We want to make sure that you're going to get all the calls possible from our efforts. And then the guy from Chicago is going to be like, yeah, that's what I want. I want to take over Chicago. They're going to take over like the mafia, Al Capone. But and then you're gonna spit out the bill. You're gonna tell them I'm gonna do it for $2,000 a month, or you could get a little bit more crafty. I'm gonna do it for 2,500. You can be a little bit more crafty. You could be like, you know what? For the first month I charged $3,500, but to go with to go to for a setup, and then every month after that is 2,500. But if you do a deal with me today, I'll do it for 2,500. Waive $1,000 fee, and then we're good to go. Then the client's gonna be like, yeah, let's go for it because I don't want to pay 3,500 now because you know what? Everybody really a deal maker is exactly what it is a deal maker. It's like, man, I better take the deal now. I better hop on the deal. You put a little bit of scarcity in there, and people will take action, right? So so you're gonna pay $2,500. So they're gonna charge you $2,500, or they'll pay you $2,500 for you to do your job. Now and that's the ideal thing, right? That's the ideal thing for local client domination, local SEO domination, because what you're doing is you're dominating the city. Now, how do you go about dominating a city? Okay. Now, before I talk about that, I'm also going to tell you that this is going to be a little extensive video because I'm trying to explain one thing a little bit further because local domination isn't the point of this video. Isn't the end all be all of the video of what I'm trying to get across here. So this is more of the whole entire thing is an introduction, but at the same time is a prelude to what I'm trying to get across, in the long run, right? Now, to dominate cosmetic dentistry in Chicago, let me just do this. Um, Chicago County, right? So this is all of Chicago, right? And Chicago is a pretty large city. It's actually one of the third largest city in America. You're looking at 5.2 million um, citizens in Chicago. And in case anybody cares, um, if I'm a fan of Blue Bloods, and I do know that Donnie Wahlberg actually lives in South Chicago. So that's in case anybody cares. But that's just a little bit of trivia. You're gonna learn something from my videos, that's for sure. Um, anyways, the way this works is I would target the counties in Chicago as well as Chicago itself. So, for instance, cosmetic dentistry, cosmetic dentistry in Chicago is a keyword. Cosmetic dentistry in Oak Park is a keyword. It seems like the same keyword, but I'm changing the location. Now let's say I'm literally near the lake of Michigan here. You know, I'm on a lakefront for my business, and as you can see, Oak Park is way out here. You know, I can't even tell you how far it is to be honest, but let's just suppose. Now, Google by default assumes every search query that you're making is a local query first. Okay, so that's part of the advantage. Then once they realize it's not a local query, then they'll give you some added results, results necessary, more relevant to your query. But before they do that, they have to assume as fast as possible that you're making a local query. So I'm not. So it makes so, and this used to happen in the past. You would see this happen. I'm not sure how many people know about this, but in the past, you know, um, they didn't do local queries and they didn't do um, broad based terms as well as they do now. You know, you could do cosmetic dentistry and rate for cosmetic dentistry, but then you'll get a guy from Brooklyn calling because you're showing up over there, or you get a guy from Phoenix over there calling from you. I'm like, man, I was doing before I got into SEO, I was into tech support. You know, I ran my own business, and you know, I built my own website, crude but effective, and I started to rank for tech support. And somebody from Detroit called me. I'm like, man, this isn't working. But anyways, um, Google is very specific now. So they have like their algorithms are set up where you got local search and you got broad search. They always do the local search first before they go with the broad portion of their engines. So so um so here you are in the lakefront and you're going to target Oak Park because there may be dentists over here in Oak Park, but you can still outrank the dentistry in Oak Park because chances are when the dentists in Oak Park are ranking or if they're doing their own SEO, okay, if they're doing their own SEO, they're going to say cosmetic dentistry in Chicago as well. They may not think to say they may have it on their website that they're from Oak Park, and they'll say that they're a cosmetic dentistry in Chicago. They're missing out on the fact that they need to just really focus on Oak Park, which is why you're going to start focusing on Oak Park for your own self. But this is how I would do it for a client. So the guys over here, I'm gonna make sure that his website is hidden. Cosmetic dentistry in Oak Park. I'm gonna make a guy website hidden over here in Elk Grove and Mountain Prospect and Arlington Heights, Schaumburg. All these. South Chicago, Chicago Heights. All these. And then basically, as I'm hitting for those keywords, as I'm hitting for those keywords, or those keywords with location modifiers, I'm slowly but surely taking over the city, right? Now, the best way to take over a city is to take over a city with 30 to 50 keywords. And this does mean a lot of work. This is why people are going to pay you 2,500 bucks a month, because you got to put all that work into it. And they need to realize it's a lot of time and effort that you got to do that. So if I had to come up with 30 keywords, if I had to come up with 30 keywords that deals with dentistry, um, then I got to make sure that I'm also hitting all 30 keywords with the same location modifiers, right? So cosmetic dentistry, times 30 in Oak Park. Cosmetic dentistry times 30 in Chicago. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Um, and in Chicago Heights, and in Orland Park, and in Streamwood, and things like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm making it super super hard and super super competitive for my client, because they're really now um, they're really now taking over the city. The reason why it's called local takeover. And so if I'm doing it with 30 keywords, right? Um, then I could know for sure if 30 people from Chicago started searching for cosmetic dentistry in 30 different ways, and I'm hoping I hit all 30 different ways. I know I'm going to show up 30 times you know, for all 30 of those people. So even we can even go with 50. We know that I'm going to show up at least 2 or 3 times per keyword, right? Per person, right? Um, Weird math. I'm not really doing it well right now, and that's besides the point. But you get the idea of, so if they're doing it in Chicago, now here again, here's the thing: they don't have to be 30 people from Chicago looking for cosmetic dentistry. You could have 5 from Schaumburg, and you can have 5 from Oak Lawn, and you can have 5 from Chicago Heights looking for cosmetic dentistry. Now, here's what's beautiful: Google would say, would automatically input the local query if they don't do it, because they're starting off with their location. So, guys from Schaumburg looking for cosmetic dentistry, Google is automatically going to input in Schaumburg, Illinois. Okay. And by doing that, and remember, I took over Schaumburg, Illinois for my client. I'm going to show up over here because as far as Google's concerned, I'm the closest relevant result to that individual in Schaumburg. Okay. And then you rinse and repeat for Oak Park as well, Cicero, Des Plaines, Orland Park. You get the idea. But I'm taking over. Okay. Now, and that's pretty much all there is to it. This is how you take over a local city. You tend to go after, you find the client that's going to pay you $2,500 if you can, $1,500 to $2,500 a month, and then you do everything I showed you, right? Or not, I didn't show you anything yet, but you do everything I said. You target all the keywords in the areas around you as well as your own, and then you're just going to you're already dominating. So 30 keywords here, 30 keywords here, here, here. You get the whole idea, but guess what? Your business is here, right? And as far as Google's concerned, you're just going to be the fun guy to always refer to. Okay. Um, Now this is, I guess we'll call this part one. I think I've shared enough, and we're going to talk about how to do. We're going to talk about this a little bit further in the next video, so stay tuned.